Welcome to the Degenerate Gamblers. What are we going into week 7 right here? Guys, if you've been listening, come on, join the Degenerate Gamblers. Go to WHOP.com. It's simple. Follow at Howie Dewey on YouTube. Join $24.99 a month. You would have had 6 straight weeks in a row where we hit our max bet. And I gave it out here last week. Remember, accidentally, Steve picked my game, the Alabama game, Missouri, and our max bet of the week was Alabama minus 2.5. You would have had it. That's 6 weeks in a row that we have nailed the max bet. If you listened last week also, we had a lot of questions on the Army game. Remember I told you, I said that 17.5 point spread was just typical Army. And I said, buy that extra point because Army will probably win by 17. And they did. They won by 17. That's why you have to join. You know what? We talk to people. We have a lot of people on the ends. And that's what it's all about. It's about giving you information before you place any bets. But look, last week was solid. We ended up, if you're a member here, you know that. This is 6 straight weeks in a row that we've banked. We've made money 6 straight weeks in a row. So if you followed us last week, I'll go over real quickly what we did as far as college football, and then we had a good day in the NFL. But college football, look, we had Bama, max bet, minus 2.5, bang. Then we had the Iowa-Wisconsin under. Couple units, and then we drilled it. Here's where we nailed it. This is what put us ahead. We had Texas Tech, 5-unit play, Boise State, 5-unit play, bang, bang, bang. That's how we ended up positive. And Sunday was nice. I went light Sunday. I don't mess around with the NFL. I let my boys, Mehu Patel and Steve Valente, I let them take over the NFL. I'll put a few bets in here and there, but I went light last week. I had the Patriots-Panthers. Plus 185 for 4 units, and that put me ahead for the weekend in the NFL. And I know when to say when because you know the NFL. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, look, we're on a roll with college football. Just go to Whop.com, join. Okay? Join the Degenerate Gamblers. It's $24.99 a month. Go to Howie Dewey on YouTube, join. Sign up. Join for a month. You don't like it? Leave. Let's get into this week. We got to do it. And this week is crazy. Crazy week. We got games every night. Every night for like the next 42, 43, 44 days. I don't know what it is, but we got games tonight. Tonight's Thursday. We have Tulsa at East Carolina. This is a game that I like. If you watch Tulsa this year, they are bad. East Carolina is good. Okay, this line is minus 16.5. I don't think you have to mess with it. I think you take the home favorite here, East Carolina, and don't surprise if they blow Tulsa out. I just think tonight's one of those nights that East Carolina is firing on all cylinders, and they probably smash Tulsa. I hope so. Because that's going to be the start of our Wild Man Parlay. Yeah, if you know anything about that, I put it out every week. We toss out a Wild Man Parlay. If it hits everybody, all the degenerates, everybody gets $50. Here's what it is. If it hits, everybody gets 50. So that's why you got to join. Go to WAP.com. Join the Degenerate Gamblers. Go to @Howie Dewey. Sign up. Just sign up on the premium. It's everywhere. It's very easy. Push a button, put in some information. You're good for a month. So that's where we are Thursday night, tonight, 7:30 p.m., Tulsa at East Carolina. East Carolina is a covering machine. They're very solid this year, pretty balanced attack, decent defense. They're going to put a beat down on Tulsa. That's my opinion. Tomorrow we have 4 games Friday night. When's the last time that's happened? 4 college football games on a Friday night. They're good ones. Look, first one, you got Louisville. Decent team going into Miami. Plus 13.5. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like this game. I don't like it. They're going to Miami right now. Miami has to win, number 2 in the country. This could be a struggle. Louisville's got decent defense. Louisville's got a decent squad. This could be a good game. I'm going to sit back and watch it. Why? I am. I mean, if anything, I would probably lean to the under a little bit. A little bit. I just don't like this game, people. This is a big conference matchup. 13.5 is a lot of points. You may even want to take Louisville 14.5. I mean, Miami's good. This is going to be a good game. Hour later, you got Nebraska going to Minnesota. Nebraska's a good team. Ran into a tough issue last week against Maryland. We had that game if you were listening. Yeah. You have Minnesota at home plus 7.5. Under the lights, Friday night. I can't bet Nebraska, people. Can't do it. There'll be a lot of people at Minnesota. This is a Big Ten matchup. Nebraska is not that great. Better than they have been. Not that great. Minnesota's not bad. That game could be close. Hydrate, baby, hydrate. Another game I don't really love. Now, here's a game you got to look at. This is a Friday night, 9 o'clock West Coast game. San Jose State visiting Utah State. Utah State looked horrendous last week. Horrendous. This could be a bounce-back game. They're minus 3.5. I probably wouldn't take that. I might use them on the money line a little bit. They should win this game. If they don't, their season it will be a disaster. They have to win this game. It looked terrible last week. And, of course, the final game, 10:30. Guys, this is a game I like. Okay, you have UNC, North Carolina, Billy Belichick, and his 21-year-old girlfriend. I don't know how old she is. 21, 25, doesn't matter. He's 100. It's very uncomfortable. The whole situation in North Carolina is uncomfortable. And you saw the press that they got last week. It was all negative. We thought he was going to resign last week. I don't think he'll make it the year. He's not coming back. Bad move. Look, to go to California, here's the deal. California is not great. They're decent. They're not great. But North Carolina's gotten beat by 17 or more in every single game this year. They're terrible. These kids have packed it in. They've quit. I don't see Carolina coming back. I see this game another disaster. I like the Bears at home. Listen on this one. I like the Bears at home. Minus 9.5. It could be minus 12. I don't care. I don't see Carolina showing up. They have so many problems, so many internal problems. These kids have packed it in. Carolina's at home. They love nothing better than to smash this East Coast team. And of all the games Friday, this is the game I like the best. I got to go with the home favorite here. I really do. We get into Saturday, and it's the most loaded slate of the year. This is a big, big weekend. You start right off with LSU and Vanderbilt. Flip a coin, guys. Both these teams, I think they've not covered against the spread maybe twice this year. LSU on the road, Vanderbilt at home. I have no idea. No idea. I don't like the game. Don't like it at all. That's a terrible game. Over under 48.5. Who knows? But anyway, look, if you like what you hear, go to Whop.com, join the Degenerate Gamblers. You get the inside scoop. You get everything. You get our live plays on the Discord. We have 3 guys. We're hedging all the time. We're hedging. What does that mean? That means that say Saturday at noon we took LSU and they're plus 2.5, and all of a sudden they go up 7-0 or 10-0, and now Vanderbilt's plus 6.5. What do? We turn around, bet Vanderbilt. We try to middle it. We hedge. That's how you got to make money in this business. It's live betting, people. Got a couple decent Maction games at noon. Central Michigan, Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan, Miami, Ohio. We will have a play on one of those games on the Discord. You have to join the Discord to get these plays. At noon, huge game, huge ACC matchup. You have Georgia Tech, undefeated, going to Duke as an underdog. Howie, why are they an underdog? I'll tell you why. Because Duke's playing better than anybody in the country right now. Duke is putting together a nice little win streak, 3 wins. Georgia Tech has struggled on the road, barely got by Wake Forest. They're plus 1.5 here. They will be up for this game. I would lean towards Georgia Tech in the points, maybe get that 1.5 up to 3.5. I do think they'll be up for it. I think they probably have more talent than Duke, especially on offense. I'd lean towards Georgia Tech. They have to win. They have to win this game to stay, up there with Miami. We have a wild game at noon. We have Arizona at Houston. That's a coin toss. We will have a play on that. You got Connecticut, BC, Baylor, TCU. Look for Baylor, TCU. That score could be 48-45. The over under 65.5 people. When you see an over under that high, okay, that's Vegas. That's the Vegas say take the under. It's too high. It's probably going over. Look for that game to be in the 70s. Baylor, TCU. That's one that we will look at as far as playing an over on that. 12 o'clock noon, you got Washington, Michigan. Michigan's home, -5.5. I kind of like them here. I like them in this spot. Oklahoma, -4.5, going to South Carolina. Oklahoma coming off that loss last week against Texas. Red River rivalry, can't even say it. That's a game that intrigues me, the 12:45 game, Oklahoma at South Carolina. Because if they're not up for this, if Oklahoma is not 100% up for this game, they're going to get beat. They're going to get beat. South Carolina is decent. They've hung tough this year. They're playing at home. Decent defense. Over-under is only 43.5. Low-scoring game. I would lean Gamecocks there. Then you have West Virginia on the road at Central Florida. Line -7.5. You know what that means. Got to bring that down to 6.5. Central Florida will probably win by a touchdown. Remember I said that last week? While I'm doing this right now, I just sent my boys, the handicap guys. Why was there no link on that? Let me try it again because my tech skills here. Let's see. Let's see if I can get it right this time. I think I can do this, baby. Oh, look at that. Yeah. How about I just sent them an email and I didn't even put the link in it? Short-term memory loss. That's good. All right, we get going, man. We get Saturday, 2 o'clock. We got action again, Kent State, Toledo. Big blowout there. Toledo is solid. Couple Big Ten games, Purdue and Northwestern. We get going, and then at 3:30, there's a big one right here. This is a big one. This one is interesting, people. Listen, UNLV at Boise State. Boise State's one that we almost max bet last week. They came out and just cranked in the second half, won easily. They're at home, laying 12.5 to UNLV. UNLV's a good team. UNLV's a good team. Almost ready to break the top 25. This game scares me because it's a trap game. I mean, everybody and their mother should be taking UNLV plus 12.5. Why is it that many? I mean, it looks like Boise State probably will come out tough. If anything on this, I will watch this game and I'll probably use UNLV. I'll add a touchdown to it, use it in a wild man parlay. I do think they can cover 2021. Another one, you got Ohio State visiting Wisconsin, minus 25.5. How can you not bet Ohio State here? Wisconsin's terrible. They're terrible. Do I see them coming out making a stand at home? No. I think they're in trouble. Same thing here with Michigan State going to Indiana. 27.5. Probably be 40. You can't bet against Indiana. They're a juggernaut right now. They love blowing teams out. That coach is a wild man. Another game at 3:30. I do like people. Wyoming at Air Force. Air Force coming off that Close one last week. They're minus 4.5 at home against Wyoming. What was it, 2 weeks ago? They played Navy tough. I like Air Force in this game to take care of business. Okay, are you listening? Here's a max bet. Am I going to go 7-0? Here's a max bet. I'm not going to tell you. I tell you what game it is. Ole Miss plays Georgia at 3:30 on Saturday. If you want the max bet, go to whop.com, WHOP.com. It's $24.99. Sign up. Sign up on the premium. Go to @HowWeDoIt on YouTube. Sign up. $24.99. You have to join, and I'll give you the one max bet of the week, and it's at 3:30 on Saturday. It's Ole Miss, and it's University of Georgia. And there's a side that I absolutely love. I said that last week with Alabama, minus 2.5. So join if you want that. Sign up. It's that easy. Then you got SMU at Clemson. Clemson's minus 6.5 at home. They'll probably lose. They're not that good. SMU's decent. A bunch of other games. You got some action. You got Texas A&M going to Arkansas, minus 7.5. I don't get why the line is that low, minus 7.5. We've seen Arkansas. We saw them against Notre Dame. They look terrible. Terrible. Why is that line always 7.5? That's a little trappy. And then we got another game, 4 o'clock. This is why you need to join, because there's a side in this I kind of like. Texas Tech playing Arizona State at Arizona State, plus 7.5. Let me tell you about Texas Tech, guys. You can grab them right now to win the national championship at plus 1,600. You bet 100, you get 1,600 back. I think they have a very legit chance to win the national championship. You want to know why? Because their NIL budget is higher than anyone else's in the country. It's $27 million. $27 million they're paying that team. They better win some games. I think they do have a chance to win the national championship. They'll probably get in the playoffs, obviously. And they're plus 1,600. You can bet them right now to win the national championship. You heard that here. That's why you got to listen to the Degenerate Gamblers. Knowledge, baby. It's all about knowledge. We keep going. You got Mississippi State at Florida. Florida's in the swamp. I like them. I like Florida at home against Mississippi State. This is the kind of game they come back, play hard, probably win. Can they win by 9.5? Yeah, probably. Got a bunch of games. Interesting game, too. You got Saturday, 6:30 in New Jersey. You got Oregon coming off that horrendous loss last week to Indiana, and they play Rutgers. Rutgers is at home plus 17.5. I don't know. I'd like to say Rutgers could cover this, but Oregon's got to have a little chip on their shoulder after last week. This could be a beatdown. Yeah, Texas, Kentucky, Georgia State, Georgia Southern, 7 o'clock. I got a big play on that, yeah. Georgia Southern at home, minus 6.5. I'll have a play on that. Join. Sign up. Join the premium people. We have Maryland at UCLA. Oh, let's talk a little bit about UCLA. UCLA was the worst team in the country 3-4 weeks ago. Fired their coach. This new Heisel kid comes in. Is he a genius? Because they beat Penn State. They won last week. UCLA looks like a legit team. And they're only a 3.5-point pick over Maryland. Good quarterback. You saw Maryland last week. Maryland's got a decent squad. I couldn't bet against UCLA at home. Not in L.A. Couldn't bet against them right now. Something's going on. Those kids, I don't know. Either they weren't that bad, they're believing, they love this new coach, but this team's putting up points. UCLA is a team that UNLV beat earlier in the year. UNLV beat them. Now they're a 3.5-point favorite over Maryland. Saturday night, 7 o'clock. I think UCLA's legit. I couldn't bet against them this game. Couldn't do it. Here's another funny one. Here's a funny one, people. Saturday, 7 o'clock. You got Penn State. Just fired their coach. Jimmy Franklin going to Iowa. Iowa is a favorite. If you told me preseason that Iowa would have been a favorite against Penn State during the season, I would say you're nuts. All right? What are you smoking? The over-under is only 39. That tells us these teams can't score. Penn State's in the shitter. But who knows? Are you going to look, if this is a UCLA trend, they fire the coach, team starts playing great. They just fired Franklin. You know where I'm going here? I mean, if this is a trend and these kids are happy that this guy's gone, and they could come out and put a beat down on Iowa. I mean, according to the experts, Penn State has talent, correct? Maybe they're happy Franklin's gone because they're a plus 2.5 point. If there was ever a time to bet Penn State, it might be this weekend. It might be plus 2.5 against a team. Iowa, not that good. I gotta look at that. I gotta look at that game. 7:30. You got another one here. You got USC looking good going into Notre Dame. Notre Dame is minus 9.5 at home. I don't know. I don't know. 9.5. It's a lot of points. I mean, USC is decent. Notre Dame struggled already against good teams. I don't know. I don't love the game. Gonna watch it. Don't love it. We keep going. We got good games, man. I mean, after that, you got Tennessee and Alabama. Alabama with a squeaker last week covered for us. Our biggest bet of the week, max bet, they covered for us. Now they're home, minus 8.5 against a good Tennessee's 11 in the country, as they should be. Good team, good athletes, good QB, decent defense. 8.5 is a lot of points, people. I don't know. I couldn't take them. I got to lean dog. I got to lean volunteers that game. FanDuel's got a 50% profit boost on that game. That'll be interesting. And then it keeps going. 7:45. You got Missouri. Missouri looked pretty good last week against Bama. They didn't give up. Didn't quit. Kept it close. And now Missouri's going into Auburn. Auburn lost that game to Georgia last week by 10 points? If you saw that game, who doesn't agree with me? And we had Georgia. They covered for us. Auburn got screwed. That was the worst screwing of the year. They got screwed. Momentum, everything. The kid breaks the line. Definitely a touchdown. The refs review it and say no touchdown. There was also a few other calls in that game. I felt Auburn got screwed. Could they have won the game? I don't know, but it should have been closer than 10. We probably should have lost that game. They're playing Missouri at home. They're plus 1.5. I like the dog here, baby. I like Auburn. I like the Tigers at home at night against Missouri on the road. I think Missouri's going to have problems here. I really do. There's about 5 SEC teams that are right there, very close. Then we have Cincinnati, Oklahoma State. You can't bet Oklahoma State. They're terrible. 21.5 dogs. Couldn't touch them. Huge rivalry this night. Utah at BYU. BYU's plus 3.5. We'll have a play in that game. 100% we'll have a play on that game. You got to join. Join the Degenerate Gamblers. Go to Whop.com. Sign up for the premium. Go to How We Do It on YouTube. Sign up. Because that Utah-BYU game, that's going to be a good game. Excellent game. So that's it for college football. This is going to be an awesome slate this weekend. I'm jacked up. Can we bang out 7 weeks in a row here? I mean, look, come on in. Look at our Discord. You can go back. You can look at every play that we've had. 6 for 6 in max bets. Hopefully we'll go 7 for 7. I do have a play on the on that 3:30 game this week. Ole Miss at Georgia. That will be a max bet. Now, with that being said, let's go in the NFL. Let's talk some NFL, man. Let's do it.
What's going on?
I got my man right now, Mehul Patel. He's been on a roll. If you've been with us, we've been hitting props. We've been hitting games. I went light last week. I think I made 3 units in the NFL last week, which I was very happy with. But things in the NFL. We're in what, week 6? Is it week 5 or 6?
We're in week 6. No, no,
Six.
no. We're in week 7.
7 already. So we're in week 7 in the NFL, and the one thing that I noticed that is huge with all these games, and you can't bet a game unless you have the injury report, the full injury report, because this goes back to what you do, Behul, and this is basically offensive linemen. Because you get 1 or 2 offensive linemen that are hurt or injured, and that's a game changer.
Oh yeah, I mean, and depending on who it is, if it's the left tackle, and you got a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. That's going to affect the quarterback big time. I mean, when Joe Alt, the left tackle for the Chargers, went out versus the Giants, that game changed instantly. Instantly changed that game. Justin Herbert had no time to throw. And it's not always because the guy off the bench is just that much worse. They just haven't been practicing, right? The starters get all the snaps.
Right.
And so even in a week where you already know, like Devin Lloyd, for example, won't be playing linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Rams this week. He's been playing lights out. He's playing for a contract, right?
That's a big loss.
Huge loss. I mean, this guy's been playing all pro level. And, you might say, oh, well, that's not a mid-game injury. The guy that's going to replace him is going to practice all week. Okay, but he's getting like 4 practices, versus Devin Lloyd's been getting practices since the summer, taking all the snaps. So when a replacement player comes in, unless they're just a freak, it takes some time. I mean, for example, Tom Brady, if you go back when he replaced Drew Bledsoe, it was his second year in the NFL. He went on and won a Super Bowl, but if you watch those early games, he was playing on a really reduced playbook. And the same thing happens with offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers, except that you can't give them a reduced playbook. What happens is the other coordinator starts attacking that guy on the field. So where Devin Lloyd won't be, Sean McVay has got, I guarantee you, 24 plays that are going to directly attack where Devin Lloyd is. So these injuries are critical.
Yeah,
I think
injuries are huge, and
they're huge.
Listen,
they're huge.
That's 90% of what we put our plays off of. So if you want the information, if you want every bit of information before you place your hard-earned money, go to Whop.com. Join the Degenerate Gamblers. Join the premium. You got Mehul. You got this guy I'm bringing in right now. These are our NFL experts. My boy Steve Valente. We got these guys in, and this is what we're doing, man. So, Steve, you figured that out yet? You got that?
Steve has a look on his face.
Steve's like, so.
Wait, I heard Steve. I heard him.
But
you're good, brother. You're good. Don't mess around with anything else. Right. Just let it rip. You're good. You're perfect.
Can't fucking hear anybody.
Don't touch anything.
Well, he can't hear us.
Oh,
I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
All right.
Can you hear me?
You sound good, man. You sound the best I've ever heard you. Jesus. You sound like you quit smoking 2 days ago. We're ready to go.
Cigs outside.
We're ready to go. So listen, fellas, we talk about injuries. We talk about, last week on what we're going on. Let's quit the bullshit right now. Let's get into 8-16 tonight because this is, listen, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers who preseason, they were a little bit laughable. Aaron Rodgers coming in, they're really reaching. The Steelers are a contender right now. They're a legit chance to come out of the AFC. You can't say they're not.
I can't. I think they're okay. I think this is not
They're okay, but who is good in this AFC?
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. But do I
Patriots? I mean,
do I see this team winning 3 games in a row against quality teams? No, I don't. I don't.
Well, they don't play a quality team tonight. They play a team that has been banged up, beaten, smashed. Who's going to quarterback for the Bengals tonight?
I assume it's Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is going to start, and saw a little bit of improvement with him at center, right? Against the Packers. The game a little bit closer than it was. The Bengals defense played a little bit better than they have in the past. Flacco can actually make some downfield passes.
He's got good guys to throw to.
I mean, Jamar Chase is amazing. Jamar Chase is a generational. He's going to go down as a top 10 all-time wide receiver in the NFL in history. Just give him the gold jacket now because he's that good.
But I look at this game and tell me if I'm wrong. The Bengals are home. It's a Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you think that this line, Flacco showed up last week, showed he could play. Wouldn't you think this line would be -2.5? I mean, the Bengals would be +2.5, maybe +3, +5.5. That's very disrespectful. I mean,
you mean +5.5? You think that the Bengals, this spread should be lower?
I would think. Thursday night they're home.
Yeah.
Flacco's second game, 2.5, 3.5. I mean, they're basically saying that the Steelers are going to piss on them tonight.
I don't disagree. And it's a short week, right? And so, a short week, Steelers defense, I thought 5.5 was a lot too, for the Bengals to get. And this is their season, right? They're 2-4. If they have any hopes in that organization that they're going to just try to stay close to 500 until Joe Burrow comes back, which they're saying is, I don't know if this timeline is still accurate. Week 12 is about what they're hoping for. You got to win this game. You got to get to 3-4, and then you got 4 or 5 games left before Burrow comes back, because I think they have a bye in there before Burrow comes back, or hopes to come back. This is the season. They've got to win this game. Are they going to win it? I don't know, but I feel like they'll stay in it.
Yeah, 5.5 to me is, I don't know. What do you think, Steve?
Over. I think over.
Steve likes the over.
Okay.
I like the over. That is my play. I didn't want to say anything.
Bengals are 4-2 this year, 2-0 at home with the over. Steelers are 3-2. Both of these, this Bengals defense is not good. They've given up tons of points. It's a low number. I actually looked at it first thing this morning to bet it down to get it to 41.5, get it under that number of 42. It just went up. So it was -160 this morning. Now it's -175. So maybe
wow.
Yeah,
so
the over-under is 44.5 right now.
44.5.
And I'll tell you, when I looked at that and I looked at all their stats for this year, I was like, how is this game not? If Flacco can throw a TD or two, the Bengals are going to score 3 or 4.
Which he did in the second half, which, I don't think this pass rush of, who you could tell us much better than me. The Steelers pass rush, other than Watt, are they going to be putting?
Yeah, I think they might get pressure only because the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line is so bad, right? Their pressure rates are, they get most of their pass rush from their linebackers. From the defensive line, it's TJ Watt, and if he's getting doubled and chipped, it's harder, and so they rely on those linebackers. But the Bengals offensive line is so bad that you're going to be able to get pressure on them. You don't have to do a whole lot, but this over under opened up, I believe, at 42.5, and Yeah, so you're now at what you said, Howie. We're at 44.
44 and a half. And the one thing I'll say, and you just said it, Mehul, is the one thing Joe Flacco is good at is he's played on a lot of shitty offensive lines. And there's no quarterback better at getting rid of a ball quicker than Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
Flacco,
look, I mean,
he gets rid of the ball.
he does, and this game goes over if T. Higgins gets a couple jump balls, right? You know, that's it. It goes over if T. Higgins has a decent game. Hard to see them not being able to put up 17 points, the Bengals, and the Steelers are going to be able to run on this team. Jalen Warren, Gainwell, and I even think the rookie Caleb Johnson, who has, you guys know him from Iowa. I don't know much about his college profile.
He was a beast.
And that's what I've heard is that he's got long speed, right? He's kind of a poor man's Derrick Henry, where he's a big, strong running back who can rip 60, 70-yard runs. This is the type of defense, the Bengals, that you can do that against, because if you saw Josh Jacobs, there was a couple runs where I just couldn't believe it. His second touchdown run was, I think, at about the 15, 16, 17-yard line, and it was just a straight line to the end zone. And he barely got, he was getting kind of hit on his arms, but that's the type of run defense they play. So the Steelers, I think, will score points. I think if they can get into the red zone and turn them into touchdowns, over 40, 41 seems very possible. I like the over too. It's just hard to take the under when you know how bad the Bengals defense is.
Yeah.
And when I say it's bad, their rankings that I've got for coverage in the secondary, I think I got them 31st as.
And I can see Chase
secondary.
I can see Chase break Jamar Chase just breaking one for long. I can see Flacco hitting him tonight, 30, 40 yards where he just takes off. Pittsburgh sends everybody on one play.
Sunday.
Yeah.
That catch could two G's right in my pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
He got good late.
And that was a tough throw. That was a tough throw.
Tough catch. But you got those safety outlets with Chase and Higgins. All he has to do is 2-step, 3-step drop, and he's throwing it out, throwing darts, and Flacco's good at that.
He is.
It's going to be tough to cover those receivers, and like you said, Pittsburgh's going to score maybe an anytime touchdown.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Okay, so I have a correction. I have the linebackers coverage at 31, but the problem with the Bengals is they don't get a pass rush really. And
now, do you guys have any props on this game? I just like the over.
I mean, I'm going to look at the running backs rushing props because as far as run defense, between their defensive line and linebackers, I have Cincinnati's linebackers ranked last against the run D, and then bottom 10 with their defensive line. I feel like one of their running backs is going to get off. So I'm going to take a look at the rushing props, and I'll probably post something. I wish there was a Caleb Johnson rushing prop, but he gets so few touches. I doubt that they're putting that up. Because I feel like this is a game that rookie could break out or have a breakout run. He might only get 8-9 carries, but I could see him busting a 25-yard run against this team. So I'm going to take a look at that, and see what Jalen Warren and Gainwell are at. I like that, but I like the over. I mean, I definitely like the over.
So you guys heard it here. We just gave you the over. That's what we're going for tonight. It's unanimous. Look, if you want plays like this, you got to join the Discord. Go to whop.com, hit premium, go to Howie Dewey on YouTube, join the Degenerate Gamblers, hit the premium, and on our Discord, we have plays all weekend long. We're hitting live bets.
And this, the live bets here, if anything happens to Trey Hendrickson in this game, I'm going to go load up even more on the props because they just don't have a lot of guys on defense that are, difference makers. They have a handful, but, sometimes Taylor Britt, the cornerback, can make a play here and there. Dax Hill isn't bad. DJ Turner isn't bad, but it's hard to play in the secondary in the NFL when there isn't much of a pass rush. It's
Right.
These guys are elite athletes, and DK Metcalf is not a scrub. Like,
Oh, he's a beast.
he can outmuscle anybody back there, and if Aaron Rodgers has time, he could still throw an accurate pass.
So that's where we are tonight. Tomorrow, I'm sorry, the next game, Sunday, 9:30 a.m. England. You have the Jaguars, which is England's home team. They've played 13 games over
Yep.
in England over the past 13 years. They're 8-5 against the spread, the Jaguars in England, but they've lost their last two over there. So you have the Rams coming in. The Jaguars have some key injuries here, which puts them at a +3 underdog. And you have the Rams coming in, who pretty explosive offense, I would say. The over-under is 44.5. What do you guys think about this? I mean, I know the Jags have some tough injuries on defense here.
Yeah, I personally like the under in this game. The injury for the Jags, it's Devin Lloyd, their middle linebacker who's been playing lights out, isn't going to play. So that is going to hurt them. But on the flip side, it doesn't seem like Puka Nacua is playing for the Rams. And
best receiver in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is the Rambo of wide receivers. He gets smashed and just gets back up every time. And it's like the harder he gets hit, the more catches he has after. It just triggers something with that guy. Not having him is it going to hurt? Yeah, obviously. I mean, at least they've still got Devontae Adams, and they've got some other receivers that have been in that system for a long time now. Atwell and Whittington that can make plays. They can run the ball. They run block really well. And so this might be a slow-paced game. I mean, if you watch the Ravens-Rams game, that was believe it or not, a very much a grinded-out game when you thought maybe they would just try to blow out the Ravens like everyone else has done to that defense. But they grinded it out, and I think I could see the same sort of situation there because the Rams defense, I got to tell you, the Rams defense is nasty, very hard to run against. And if Trevor Etienne and Bashul Tutin don't get going and you got to rely on Trevor Lawrence, forget it.
Yeah, more like Taylor Lawrence. Steve, what do you think?
Well, you know what I was going to say about this Rams offense, it's like they're high-powered, but you're losing your biggest weapon in Nacua, and they're only averaging 23 points a game as it is now with that weapon healthy. So take him away. I think they got to – and Blake Corum's probably out too, right?
Yeah, I think he might be not playing. So it'll be they drafted that rookie Hunter, so he might get a few carries, but it's really going to be Kyron Williams and
grind it out with Kyron Williams. Maybe look for like a Kyron Williams anytime touchdown in this game. But I like it. I like it with the under.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those games where I might cash out early if it stays under. Only my reasoning,
or just turn around, bet the over, hit both sides.
Yeah, it's either you go Howie's strategy and you hedge, or you do what I do and you might cash out. And the reason being is Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Trevor Lawrence could throw a pick six at any moment, fumble the ball inside his own 10. He does these bonehead things that, I mean, if you watch that Seattle Seahawks game, I don't know what was going on. It felt like he regressed to his third start in the NFL. I mean, yeah, Seattle's got a good pass rush, but I'm like, dude, get rid of the ball. Just throw it away. I mean, it was all game long. He also has, Brian Thomas has been dropping passes. I think he leads the NFL in drop passes. And against the Rams, you have to play really, really well on offense to beat them. You have to have a really good scheme, and you need a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes, and that's not Trevor Lawrence.
So you look at this. I mean, we're all kind of leaning towards the under, and I always don't you get that feeling when you watch these overseas games that no matter who the hell it is, it's just not going to be a lot of scoring. I
Yeah,
mean, that Jets game last week was just utter comedy. You
but
know,
a lot of those international games end up like that, where they look sluggish.
I,
You
I,
know,
I, I lowered my over under to 36, which was plus 205, 210. I should have lowered it to 26
yeah,
because I could have nailed it plus 500,
you
600.
you could have taken the alt for sure.
Yeah.
3 points in the second half.
Oh, my God. And I mean, and look, let's call it what it is. Denver, you suck too. I mean, Denver is garbage. They haven't beaten anyone. All this stuff about Denver. Denver's terrible. You scored, what, 13 points on the Jets? Stop. Just stop. So, segue into this. We're leaning under for that early Sunday 9:30 a.m. game. We get into 1 o'clock, and I'm going to talk about one game that you guys can talk about any other 1 o'clock games you like. But 1 o'clock, you have the Panthers at the Jets.
Oh, don't do it, Howie.
I'm not doing it. All I'm going to say is this. The Jets are plus 1.5. There's no way in hell I'm going to go near this game. I'm not going to touch it. But these are the kind of shitty-ass games that the Jets win. I mean, they're 0-6. Watch them. And I hope they don't. More likely than not, they lose by 2 touchdowns because that's the Jets.
Howie, I got to ask you a question. As a lifelong Jets fan, and now we're in week 7, it sort of feels like you want them to go 0-17.
Yeah, I would be happy. I don't want to win one game this year. I don't. Not at this point. I don't. I'll be pissed if we win a game.
So is this to teach them a lesson?
This is just to accentuate what the Jets organization has been to any type of a fan over the past 50 years. All that is just to show America what a shitty organization, business organization, fan, just what a horrible entity the New York Jets. They shouldn't have New York in front of them. That's embarrassing. And I would like to go 0-17 just so we can have the number 1 pick and we can ruin somebody else's career.
But you can get the number 1 pick at 2-15.
We've screwed that up in the past. Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence would have been a New York Jet quarterback, but I think we screwed that up against Carolina. Was it against Carolina?
It might have been.
When we won that game?
Yeah, it was like week 17.
Yeah. We came in. What a useless game on a defensive pass interference. It was just so beyond.
Well, ended up getting Zach Wilson the next.
Yeah, we got Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson? Where is he now? Like he's picking
Miami. And his claim to fame now is his brother makes hats for teams in the NFL.
That's crazy.
You know
what's crazy is the 5th pick in that draft was Jamar Chase. So
that's so the Jets are playing over unders 42.5. So they must think that the Panthers are going to score 35 of them. They must.
Both teams are 4-2 with the over.
Listen, Bryce Young is deep. I would love to have Bryce Young as a quarterback.
Well, what I will say about the Panthers is they have an elite offensive line. That offensive line can run block, pass block. They're very good. That is a very, very good. I'll put them as a top 5 offensive line in the NFL.
And the Jets' offensive line will be out Saturday night till 5 in the morning, just trying to forget that they wear green and white the next day. So, I don't know. I don't see how. Like I said, these are the kind of stupid games that the Jets have won over the past 30, 40 years. But I could never bet the Jets. I couldn't. I think a safe bet is to take the money line, the Panthers and the money line at minus 116. It's just safe in the way that the Jets will jet. They'll do something.
I mean, look, 2 weeks in a row, my only losses were the Jets and Giants, so I'm not touching these teams.
Never.
So, Steve, 1 o'clock game, Steve, who do you like?
There's two that stick out to me, right? The one big glaring one is this Dolphins-Browns game, right? You got Tua coming out in the media saying that there's no structure, that there's no leadership. Like, you're the quarterback of the football team, and you're saying there's no leadership. So you threw yourself under the bus, you threw the coach under the bus, and now you're going up against one of the toughest defenses in the league at home, at Cleveland. So to me, this might be Mike McDaniel's last game in Miami. I think Cleveland's going to win this. I'm getting 2.5 or laying 2.5. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with the Browns. As bad as Dylan Gabriel might have looked last week, and they didn't take the bye after coming back across the pond, which is stupid. I just think that Miami's an absolute dumpster fire right now.
I agree with Steve on that. That's a game that jumped out for a couple reasons. Just the chaos in the organization with the Dolphins isn't good. But I would, when I look at these every week, NFL usually comes down to 10 to 12 plays in a game, maybe even less. They're usually evenly matched teams. That's why it's so hard to bet on the NFL. So you got to lean on where one team has a clear advantage. The clearest advantage this week is Cleveland Browns defensive line versus Miami Dolphins offensive line. It is night and day. Cleveland's defensive line on all metrics is so much better than the Dolphins' offensive line. I mean, the rookie is playing awful. I think he's the left guard. He's playing terrible. They just cannot. They're going to have a lot of trouble against this defensive line, and Cleveland should be able to run against the Dolphins. Judkins, I like that prop. I like that.
All it's going to take is one of the defensive linemen for the Browns. It's going to be one, not even a hard, but like a small little bitch slap to the right temple of Tua, and he'll be like sipping an applesauce for the next 3 weeks. That's all it's going to take is a quick pat. I forgot my name, and that's what's going to happen.
And look, Cleveland gets out the quarterback, and if you've watched the Cleveland Browns, which is very difficult to watch them because the offense is so bad, but they generally stay in games for about 2.5 quarters. They're never out of it at halftime. They just not. Like, even the Steelers game, they weren't out of it at halftime. They stay in games for the first 2 quarters because their defense is so good. But against the Dolphins, that offensive line is going to have trouble, and the Dolphins can't stop the run. I mean, they simply cannot stop the run. 2 weeks ago, they gave up a mountain of yards to Rico Dowdle, who was a backup. And what happened to the following week? They played the Los Angeles Chargers, Kamani Vidal, a backup, not even a backup. He was a third-string running back, ran all over him, right? So Quinshon Judkins, with all of that draft capital that he's got, and it looks the part. I mean, they're going to feed this kid. It's hard for me to see him not getting 90 yards rushing. He is going to get one 25, 30-yard rip in that game. So I agree with Steve. Plus 2.5. I mean, if you really feel like you need to buy another point, go for it. But, I don't see the Dolphins, because their defense is so bad, I don't see how they can win by, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points.
Mehul, Browns are laying 2.5.
Oh, they're laying? The
Browns are laying 2.5. They're favorite. Yeah. So we're talking about the offenses being in trouble. The Browns having a solid defense. Of course, they're going to run the ball. Look at that. How about this bet? You could take the Dolphins-Browns under 43.5 and take the Rams-Jaguars under 48.5 for plus 124. I like that. I like money. Both those unders, man.
Yeah, I like both of those unders. I like both of those.
Yeah, alt them up. You got the Dolphins Browns under 43.5. You have the Rams Jags under 48.5. bam, plus 124.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that. I mean,
Looks
I'm gonna look at the Judkins rushing alt and probably take something above the 88 that's there right now because, like I said, two backup running backs just destroyed the Miami Dolphins back to back games on the road, at home.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They just don't stop the run. I'll probably look at Dylan Sampson as well. You know, he might, you know, if his rushing prop is really low, his chance he's gonna get some carries too, and this defense just cannot stop anyone. So I like that game too.
So, Steve, what's the other 1 o'clock you said popped out at you?
Well, you got the Eagles and the Vikings. Vikings, do we know who's playing quarterback? Do we know if they have a healthy quarterback right now? They're at home against the Eagles. Eagles, just got embarrassed last Thursday. Let's be honest. They got embarrassed by the Giants last Thursday.
Embarrassed.
Reigning Super Bowl champs. New York slapped them. And it's probably the last win of the season for the Giants, but I'll take it if they can beat the Eagles. I don't know. You got Minnesota getting 2 points at home. I don't like either quarterback, and I just think this is, are the Eagles going to lose 3 in a row? I don't see it happening. So I would probably lean the Eagles. You get them by a field goal, win by 3 points, you win your bet.
I like that. And also we'll see if Landon Dickerson plays. If he comes back on the offensive line, that obviously is going to help. If you did watch that game, man, there were so many plays where Jalen Hurts just missed AJ Brown, and he missed that bomb to Devontae Smith. So you have to think he cleans that up. He knows the play. He knows he missed 2 touchdowns in that game, and so I hard to see that. It is in Minnesota, so that's probably maybe something to consider. But I agree with Steve. Are they really going to lose 3 games in a row?
I don't see it happening, and they probably rely more on Saquon in this game too.
And look, Jalen Carter didn't play in that Giants game either, so that's another big piece to see on the line of scrimmage if he's going to play for the Eagles.
Yeah, and as good as this Vikings defense has been this year, they're second against the pass, but 24th against the run. So look for Barkley to probably have a big game, and you could maybe do his rushing, receiving yards. That could be something that we take a look
at. At some point, they're going to have to go back to the formula that got them to the Super Bowl, and that's giving Saquon Barkley the ball a lot, and they haven't been.
So that's 1 o'clock going into 4 o'clock. And guys, look, if you want the full analysis of these games, especially once we're betting, you got to join. Go to whop.com, join the Degenerate Gamblers, join the premium. Go to how we do it YouTube. Just hit the button, join the premium, and you'll get all of our plays on the Discord. 4 o'clock on Sunday. Do you guys got any games?
4 o'clock, I do.
4 games.
I like the Packers at Arizona. It looks like Brissett's going to play again, and I would say
Cardinals looked like a juggernaut last week.
I would say even if Kyler played, I like Green Bay for a bunch of different reasons. Well, Marvin Harrison is likely not to play, and while he hasn't lived up to his, first round pick and all the hype, he's by far and away their best wide receiver. So now you're talking about Dortch and Michael Wilson, and while Trey McBride's an amazing tight end, you're down to your what it seems like 3rd string running back. This guy Bam Knight and Michael Carter, and so they just don't have a lot of pieces on offense. And the Colts in that game really did get some pressure on Brissett. Colts defensive line isn't really that great of a pass rush defensive line.
No, they gave up a lot last week.
Good but the Packers are. The Packers,
Yeah.
they have Parsons and they have Van Ness and they have, Gary and they've got Quay Walker. They've got guys who can get at the quarterback. And whether it's Kyler Murray or Brissett, if it's Brissett, he's just not a scrambling quarterback. This could be real problematic for the Cardinals. And while the Bengals stayed in that game, the Packers were driving a lot on that defense, and I think that if it's Brissett, no Harrison, and the guys they've lost at running back against this defense, it seems like a pretty big mismatch.
I'm gonna guarantee you hit that bet, Mehul, because I'm gonna stay away from it. Whenever I've been on the Packers this year, they've gone the other way on me. So I like the play. I'm gonna stay away from it just so you can win. Teammate.
Whenever you bet the Packers, you turn into a full-blown Packer.
Yeah, look, the Packers have been disappointing this year, right? Like when you think that they're rolling, they come out and they're kind of flat. Jordan Love is a streaky quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not consistent. So I'll probably buy some points in this game because of what Steve said and just my general feeling. 6.5 seems a little high, but I also want to see who's not playing. If the Cardinals just have so many guys out, I probably won't buy that many points, but I do feel pretty good about them in that 4 p.m. slot.
It's a tough spot for Arizona. Brissett probably got the benefit of the doubt last week because he came off the bench. So, they didn't really game plan so much for him. They're going to have a full week here to game plan for him. I think I'm with you. So I'm going to stay away. You're going to win. Everybody listening, play that.
Go Eagles. You got anyone else at 4 o'clock, Steve?
Here's a tough spot, and I know it's my Giants, but Denver coming back from across the pond, playing a game, in Mile High against the Giants, laying a touchdown here. I think it's a tough spot for Denver.
I like the exactly. Plus, Denver looked like shit against my Jets. I mean, call me crazy, but this is one I might put a few shekels on the money line, take the Giants at plus 265, just to see if they can go in there and look. Here's the one thing I do like about these Giants. There's no pressure on them, man. They're kids. They're just having fun.
Yeah.
They don't even, dart and scatterboo. These kids are just doing backflips and going out at night and,
getting refs.
Getting hot New York ass, just eating good restaurants. They don't care, man. There's no pressure. And I can see them going in. And the Broncos just look unimpressive last week. I mean, I said I'd bet a few shekels, not much.
I mean, look, the Broncos, even in their wins, have a lot of them been very close.
Yeah.
It's not like they're blowing teams out. And that started in week 1. Week 1, they played the Titans, and Titans hung around. That team hung around till, well into the fourth quarter. And Nick's just, he's had moments where he's looked good, but then moments where he has it, and it makes these inexplicably bad throws. And their wins have been close, their losses have been close. So you start to look at how many points they've got to win by against a front seven that is good. I mean, the Giants' best part of that team roster is the front seven on defense.
Oh yeah, they put pressure on you. So
Another
that'd be an
game
interesting
to look
game.
At the under too. They're 2-4 and 1-5 against the over this year.
Sure.
Yeah, because the Broncos defense is gonna be tough too. I mean, the defense actually is very good. Benito,
they must be good. They
really
held
good.
the Jets to 10.
Well, let's not get it twisted too. The Giants lost to the Saints 2 weeks ago, so it's like, oh, you look good last week, but you lost to the Saints. So they put pressure, make them turn the ball over like the Saints did. This could be a low scoring game.
Yep. So we get to 8 o'clock Sunday night. I have no Falcons Niners. I mean, hey, we did have the Falcons last week. I love the Falcons beating the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
And they did. It's a decent team. Now they got to go to beat up San Francisco. Who knows? Flip a coin.
I feel the same.
all the money's on Atlanta. 92% of the money right now is on the Falcons.
Yeah. So,
Because
yeah, and then we get to Monday night. You got Bucks, Lions, Texans with no home dog. The home teams are favored, both the Seahawks and the Lions.
there is a game. There is something here that I gotta look into. I don't understand the over under being so high in the Houston Seattle game. Has that come down?
Oh, it's at 40 and a
41.
half.
How much?
Yeah.
40 and a half.
40 and a half. Okay, so it has come down since the opening. Of that, all of them, that's, I would probably buy some points there, but I would consider the under because Houston, that pass rush is ridiculous. It's the best in the NFL. Will Anderson and Hunter they're amazing. It's every single play. One of that, you can't double them both. So one of them is going to free up and cause havoc. And, Darnold is a pocket quarterback. And they can stop the run. The other two guys, I think it's Rankins and Settles, that are the defensive tackles. They're exceptional against the run. So Texans' defensive line is very, very good, and so is Seattle's. I mean, Leonard Williams is, he's a vet. He's had a lot of years, played a lot of football, but he still is very effective. And that secondary is getting healthy. Julian Love, Witherspoon, they all played against Jacksonville, and Seattle just dominated Jacksonville in the second half. Jacksonville could do nothing against that defense. So I'm gonna look at that game, look at the injury report. We'll post that on Monday, but I'm certainly leaning towards the over under on that.
And if we make any changes, go ahead, Steve.
I want him to look at something for us all. I saw a stat this morning on VSiN where the Seahawks have given up the most receptions per game to running backs at 7.2 receptions a game, and they've also given up the second most receiving yards per game to a running back. And then they've also given up, I think they're like fourth or fifth in receptions to wide receivers. So maybe an overplay for Stroud for completions.
Could be. I don't think they're going to be able to really run against them, right? Because they're, as long as everybody's healthy, they're reasonably tough against the run. That defensive line can get a pass rush. I'd have to see what his over-under on completions is.
22 right now. 22 plus 22 is minus 108.
Okay, I'll take a look. I'll definitely take a look and see.
Just something to see by Monday night. Maybe we can get an angle.
Yeah, no, because that game that's an interesting game, and Houston's coming off a bye. Yeah. So they're getting healthy a lot of the positions, and the other thing with the Texans is they've got two rookie wide receivers, Higgins and what's his name, Jalen. Is it Jalen Noel? Is the other wide receiver. It takes a little bit of time for those guys to get acclimated, to the NFL. And Jaden Higgins is, you guys would know more than I, but he was supposed to be like kind of a sleeper wide receiver in this draft that can do a lot of things because he's a big guy. So, the bye week helps these rookies for sure. Mm-hmm. So that's something else to take into consideration. But I'll take a look. I think the big thing is if Seattle's got their full secondary back.
Yeah.
Because that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah. So, if you want the injury update, look, we'll be making changes. We'll be to bets, especially in-game. Go to Whop.com. Join the Degenerate Gamblers of Premium. Go to how we do on YouTube. Hit the premium button, Degenerate Gamblers, and we will have every single game that we're betting live on the Discord. We got a bunch of guys on there all over the country. And, we actually had the Toronto Blue Jays last night. Bang, bang, bam. They were 128. They came back and won. We had them.
I had an outline parlay, too, a little 5-unit play for the people.
You stud. Yes, you did. And Steve is the under-over god on here. That's what he does.
Moving
And
those
we
lines.
have, listen, the Wildman Parlay starts tonight because I'm starting it off with East Carolina. So if you want to have a chance to win $50, pay $24.99 and join. Because if it hits, everybody gets it. So that's it for this week, people. We'll be back live next week. I'll have in a week and a half. I'll be on here with my man Frank Lyons, Breeders' Cup champion, because we have the Breeders' Cup coming into, and it's going to be the most exciting Breeders' Cup Classic, let's say, ever.
Huge.
It's never been it's the most stacked field we've ever had. It's going to be insane. And Frank's headed to Ireland tomorrow to get primed up for it. So that's what we're doing. So we'll be with you guys next week. Peace.